And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault. It's Adrian Chenault, and this is the Legacy Leadership Radio Show. And we are going to have a blast today. Got a couple whippersnappers I've known for a very, very long time. We might even tell you some inside information on that. What do you think of these two, baby?
They're America's couple, man. That's what
they really are.
These guys.
Yeah, they are the cutest people I've ever met in my entire life, and I love them to death. So here's the deal. Yesterday, I was on the GoPro accelerator for Eric Warre, and he's got those 2,000 people who love you to death. And I'm doing the show, and I'm looking at the comments, and they're going, let's live through this. Next week, it's Tony and Sarah. It was so hot. It was so funny because they love you. Everybody loves you two so much. I could not compete with it. Can you believe that?
Oh.
It was unbelievable.
No, I don't think I believe you.
That's the truth.
I believe we love you a lot too, Tom. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, crazy. And even Sean Murphy likes him.
It's the greatest.
We love Sean.
We love Sean. We haven't seen him forever.
So much fun. So yeah, this is going to be such a great conversation today, and we intentionally decided to interview America's couple the day after Valentine's Day, and we're just going to have all kinds of fun.
I don't want you to feel too bad about this, but going back to Eric's GoPro thing, who do you think they chose for the Valentine show? America's favorite old couple, not Ken and Barbie. So that was pretty cool too.
Oh my God. Hey, Tom, I got to tell you something funny. So we actually have a big party for our company coming up for the 80s. And we actually are surprising everyone. Hopefully not too many people are watching this from our company, but we're dressing up as Ken and Barbie. It is going to be so off the chain. I hope we win.
Oh, you guys are the perfect judge. That's exactly what it is.
Really hope.
I know it. My parents thought very early in my life I kept playing with Ken dolls, not the Barbies. Or wait, I had it back. My parents were very suspect of me as a child. Did you know that? They kind of thought I might be like a lady. So my parents started hiding the doll from me because I'm supposed to be playing with a G.I. Joe and I'm playing with Ken. And so they got a little upset for a while, but it worked out all right. I ended up getting married to Denise, and I'm pretty good now, so that's all right. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I love you all, and that's a terrible segue into the show. So take it away, Adrian.
Wow. All right, friends, we're going to have a great conversation, and I want to actually maybe start there and talk about it, what it's like building together, because I'd love for you to share your story, because some couples get into network marketing together. You were both in network marketing independently before you met, and then have brought everything together. And so just talk about that journey as a married couple and what it's been like building a company together.
So it's been a little bit of a challenge. I mean, it's good now. We have people all the time that will ask us, hey, can you give us tips on like working together? And we're like, time, it really takes time. I mean, when we got married, we both had been working network marketing independently for, a good
10 years probably.
Yeah, close to 10 years, right? So we were kind of almost like stuck in our own ways, right? We had a way that we did things and the way that we, things worked, and had different personalities. And then we were like, well, this is gonna be awesome. We're gonna work together. And like, we literally almost killed each other the first, almost 2 years. It was pretty rough. And, we kind of just had a come to Jesus meeting, and we just sat down with each other and we just said, okay, if we want, like, do we want this to work, first of all? And we were like, yes. And we're like, then we got to figure this out. Otherwise, one of us is going to build business and the other one is just going to be great support and what have you. And we sat down and we just start hammering through that. And, now here we are, working together 17 years later.
Wow.
It's extremely hard. And I'm in the same boat. And here's what you're working on. You're working on a marriage. And you're not really realizing when you're starting in the marriage that for rich or poor, that one I can handle. Sickness and in health, that one I can handle. Till death do us part is a very long time. And so network marketing business. I mean, you don't really realize that you're setting into a partnership in business. In your marriage, there are two separate things and two extremely difficult things to build as a couple. And you guys did it. And Denise and I did it too. But it does not mean
Yeah.
it wasn't. You said it was extremely rough building the new marriage. I
Mhm.
got married in 99. She walked into this thing, and the first thing she wanted to be was me, because she knew she could do me better than me being me. I resented the heck out of her for that. She resented the heck out of me. And it was very, very hard for us to find our identities, which you guys, you
Mhm.
said the same thing, and it's hard. And then you finally
Mhm.
figure that out. Then you got the separation of duty, which is hard. Who's doing what? I'm in awe that you guys have been doing it for 17 years and looking so doggone happy. So how did you do it? Who does what? I'm talking.
Well, I figured it out really quick, Tom, that would you rather be right, Tony, or would you rather have a happy wife and, a good relationship and a fun business? Because I thought I had to be right on everything that I did, and it was my way. And, Sarah will just follow along, and it doesn't work that way. I mean, for me, I had to really take a step back and say, you know what? I'm watching this amazing woman shine, and why am I trying to, stop that from happening? Let her shine in these areas that I watch her be so good at. And, for me as a man, the ego and the pride and all this kind of stuff, I just said, you know what, Tony, take a step back. Let her do her thing. Let her step into her own, and you can do the things that are still left to be done. And there's a lot of things still left to be done, Tom.
Well,
So I don't think any of that's true. I don't think you let her do anything. I think she did it. And I think you went and found your true self doing something different, but equally as powerful. Don't you?
Mhm.
I mean, that's
I
more like
agree.
Yeah,
that.
point.
Yeah, I think we just realized that, I think the more we were really aware of each other and our strengths, we just, when he was stepping forward and shining, like I was okay to step back, vice versa. It was never, we realized like us both being in center, it just didn't work that way. So we just kind of like, now we're just really aware. We have a great rhythm of what's happening. And, there's even sometimes like when we're keynoting and I'm just like, hey, I let him go do his thing, and I'm more than happy to kind of stand and let him shine, and I think we've worked well that way. I think one of the best pieces of advice that we ever got, Tom, with especially with being married, was make sure that you learn how to celebrate each other's differences in every part of it. And it has served us so well, versus a lot of times, people get frustrated and, well, why aren't you doing it like this? Well, it's because I'm not you, and you got to be okay. Imagine if I did everything the same way you did, like we would just completely just, kill each other. Right. So I think for us too, I think what's really interesting is that because we both had built independently, when you said, hey, what are your, how do you guys figure out your roles? Our situation was a little bit different because we both learned the skill sets of how to build. Right.
Yeah.
So when we both got connected, we knew how to recruit and invite and follow up and network and close and get people started correctly and help them launch and so forth. Right. So it was interesting for us when we came together because we both were so strong, and we were like, oh my God, who's going to lead? I'll lead. No, you lead. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of crazy. So for us, we kind of had to figure out that, that happy medium with us. And I think too, what's so cool about working together as a couple, and it just takes time, is that some of the areas in your life that you're not as strong at, I don't really like to call them weaknesses, but I guess I call it what it is that, a lot of times those were Tony's strengths, and just being around him and working the business together every day, a lot of those things actually became my strengths and vice versa, right? So we made each other strong in so many of these areas now. And so I think that's one big reason that our business is thriving so well, is we've just been able to build on strength upon strength upon strength inside of our business, for a long time now.
Let me say this. I figured something out a long time ago, and, we communicate a lot today more than we ever have, but the little stuff that we used to nitpick each other at throughout the whole day when we were kind of a new couple getting married, right? New building the business together. We let all that stuff go today. It just isn't worth it. Like, I mean, we talk through it, we laugh now, we joke about it, but man, we used to like ride each other and just, nitpick. And it was just not a good situation. And now today we just let all that go, Tom. And that's probably the best thing that I think about today and how we've grown together.
Well, and we had good mentoring too. I mean, actually one of our greatest mentors is still one of our mentors today. I mean, he actually sat us down and he's like, hey, can I talk to you guys about something? And we're like, sure. And he's like, guys, you're so petty with each other. He's like, you ain't gonna make it. Like the things that you're picking on are just ridiculous. And you got, if you really want to grow a multi-million-dollar business here, you're not gonna make it happen.
Was that Eric that said that to you?
It was.
Who was it? Yeah,
that was a really hard conversation.
It was Eric.
It was a really hard conversation,
Eric
Tom. I mean, when he had it with us, I mean, we were sitting down on the couch and it was like some big like gulps in the throat. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it was like hard conversation. But I'm so grateful. I mean, to this day, and I don't think we've ever really told him that. But I mean, I'm so great. I remember that conversation. It was so vivid. And it was a big, big turning point. But again, that's why mentorship is so important, because they help you see the blind spots that you just don't see. Like you just don't see in your life. And so, you know, if you don't have a mentor and you guys are watching this and listening, like you have got to find somebody that can help you with those blind spots. Because man, it totally changed the trajectory of our business and our marriage, really.
He had that conversation with Denise. No, that's a lie. That was a lie. He didn't have that conversation with Denise. I love it.
I was like, really? I was like, oh my God, that's crazy.
There's a little delay, so the jokes are.
I'm like, Denise, I'm like, I think you meant yourself.
It made the moment that much more pregnant.
Yeah, that was awesome. No. So that's, yeah, you need somebody like that. You need people that are straight with you, and it's the most important thing. And, you know, one thing I have found over the years, because I am an attention grabbing, microphone stealing son of a gun, but almost all the accolades I ever get when Denise and I are on stage is when people catch me keeping my mouth shut and actually letting anybody else have all the attention instead of grabbing it all myself. And that was a good lesson for me. That's not only worked well in my marriage, but in the rest of my business building, is the more attention you take off of yourself, the more attention you ultimately get. And all of you people listening, that's an important part. You want to take us into a break?
Yeah. So I love that. And I think just, you know, working through these things, having mentors who care enough about you to tell you the truth and to seek out that kind of mentorship that isn't just blowing smoke, isn't just teaching you skills, but is really holding up a mirror to you when you need it, is really important. So this is an awesome conversation. Our guests are Sarah and Tony Zolecki here on the Legacy Leadership Show. We're having a great conversation. We're on the Genesis Communication Network, and we will be back right after this. Stay tuned. All right, we're going to do just little 30-second breaks this time. We wanted to keep the flow of these conversations going a little bit better, so we don't do the long breaks anymore. So we're going to come back at just 19 and a half here. And this next thing, I want to talk a little bit about your kids and how that fits into the business. I think that's another fun kind of dimension as your kids are getting a little bit older and watching what mom and dad are doing. So let's dive into that. We're going to come back in about 5 seconds here. You come back or me?
And we're back. It is the Legacy Leadership Radio Show. We got Adrian Chenault right here, Tom Chenault, and we have got an unbelievable couple in network marketing that have been together a long time and have been through thick and thin, and always come back and build bigger than ever. And right now they are on an epic roll, and it's so great to see it, because that has not gone to their head. They're still a humble little couple from Minnesota, just grinding it out, loving their kids, and it just warms my cockles. Back to you, Adrian.
Had to get the cockles
right. Okay.
You guys have two beautiful children who might have just walked through the door, so this might be perfect timing. But I wanted to ask you about that, because that was a big part of, you know, our story together. I really kind of came of age as my dad and then Denise together were hitting stride in their network marketing business. And so how has that been, you know, both working your tails off, working super hard, but doing it from the house in front of the kids? Like, what's that been like for your kids to witness you building this business together?
I think it's been awesome. I mean, I think, you know, for us, I mean, we're Midwest kids, right? So I think the number one value that both of our parents always instilled in us was work ethic. You know, we both had our first job. I mean, I was like 14 years old, my first job, and I don't know, you were probably almost close to the same, right? Yeah. And I think, you know, I love our kids seeing that we work hard. I think sometimes, you know, people have mommy guilt, or people have these things that pop up in their mind that they're like, oh my gosh, I feel bad if I'm, you know, doing an extra Zoom or doing an extra call or doing some of these things to push my business forward. And the reality is I actually love all that, because I love that my kids see that we fight like the junkyard dog for our dream. You know what I mean? Like, if our kids do network marketing, awesome. If they don't, like, I just want them to see how passionate we are and see how hard that we chase it. And I love that they see us when we have good days and bad days, and how we cope and how we, you know, it helps them just grow, right? And understand how to work through emotions and just being resourceful. And I think it's just such an incredible incubator that, I mean, they're live living in this whole thing, right? So, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard the quote. They said, the way that you get your kids to become a great reader is not by, you know, having them read. The way they become a great reader is because they see you read. That's when they decide to become great reader, right? And that's the same thing in this business, is like all these amazing skills of being an entrepreneur. Like, our kids, they're living, breathing it, because they see us doing it every day. Like, you can't have a better place that they can just grow and emanate than that. Like, I think it's awesome.
Well, I think also too is, you know, they're always listening, right? Kids are always listening. I mean, they just came in now and they're listening. And I love that, because you pick up everything, right? Everything. And I remember, you know, we were talking to one of their teachers, and she said, you know, it's interesting because, man, Hudson has just got this leadership in him. And, you know, he just leads the class of 25 kids. Like, he's the leader. And anytime I have like issues with kids and they need leadership, like, I have Hudson get into that circle.
Yeah, he like diffuses the situation, and he leads it out, and that's what he does.
And I'm sitting here just kind of laughing, and she's kind of going, why are you smirking? And I'm like, well, you know, he listens to mom and dad, and, you know, we pour into leadership and people through Zooms, or, you know, through just talking to people every single day, but he picks up on that stuff. And I just think it's just a great incubation, you know, what our kids are in growing up in this world.
That is such a gift. And I think you're right. You know, just all of the little pieces of what you pick up on, and watching the way mom and dad manage situations, and watching the way that they treat people, and watching the way that they talk about them behind their back, and just all the things, like, they're actually seeing and hearing and watching what you're doing. And sometimes that, for me as a parent, is terrifying because I'm going, oh Lord, I really hope you weren't listening to that phone call. But, you know, it's, I think that there's a lot of goodness that comes out of that. And I know for sure I've been a huge beneficiary of seeing firsthand what my dad did to be successful, and how hard it was, and how hard he worked, and what it takes, but also, you know, how rewarding it is, and just all of it. Right. And so, you know, as a kid, you're trying to figure it out. It's, you know, it's not always easy. And you do sometimes, you know, I remember as a kid, I always felt like, oh man, my dad works all the time. And it's just because he happened to be working in front of me instead of someplace where I can't see him, but I'm still, I'm so
exactly.
Yeah. So it's really special. And we could do it. I feel like we should do sometime a whole show just on that, because I think it's such an important topic. You know, so many people are building this business with little kids at home. But this is the quick segment, so we got to take another break here in just a second, and then we'll have some more time to keep digging into Tony and Sarah Zolecki's story. So you're listening to the Legacy Leadership Show. We're here on the Genesis Communication Network. Thank you, Ted Anderson, for having us on for all these years. We love you, and we will be back right after this.
So Adrian calls it the Legacy Leadership Show instead of the Legacy Leadership Radio Show, which I think is adorable, because there's no radio.
What's a radio?
There's no radios anymore. So that is so.
We got 30 seconds.
Say hi to Tom and Adrian.
Oh, what are you doing?
Hudson.
How are you, buddy?
So big.
Hudson, you got a booger right there, though. Right there. See that booger? It's good to see you, man.
He's picking his
No,
nose. He goes,
he's
"You
like,
are
he's
enjoying
like,
milk?"
do I?
All right, we're gonna come right back. Hold on.
Okay.
And we're back. It's the Legacy Leadership Show with Adrian Chenault, Tom Chenault, Sarah Zolecki, Tony Zolecki, and Adrian's got an agenda here, so we're going to blow right out of that thing and tell you people that one of my great resentments in my life happens to me all the time with Tony Zolecki. And I just want everybody to know that the power of remembering is absolutely the most important thing that you could ever do in your life. And yesterday was Valentine's Day. And I know that you didn't go to your wife or your spouse and follow them up. You remembered them. And whenever Tony Zolecki posts about his sobriety, the first thing I do is read the entire post looking for my name. And then I listen to the whole nauseating Facebook Live listening for my name, because I was there the day that Tony Zolecki decided to stop drinking a decade ago. And I'm telling you, I live for that remember. And when it isn't there, I hate him for a week. You want to talk about that a little bit? How much? No, that's good. How important. I was thinking on the way over here, I wanted to work that into the conversation, because you never know where you are and why you're there. And you think you go to a party, or you think you go to a networking event, and you run into somebody that literally changes your life, or you change their life. And what I'm telling all of you is stop invalidating God and show up. Instead of having your agenda, show up as an open book and serve, and amazing things happen. And that's how Tony Zolecki and I got so close. Is that right or wrong, Tony?
That's right, Tom. And, I think about it, so May 15th is coming up, and that'll be 12 years of sobriety for me. And, in May 2010, I met Tom at a party, and I was screwed up. I was drinking. My marriage was falling apart. Our business was up and down because of alcohol. And I meet this guy, Tom Chenault, in the middle of the dance floor, and he changes my life. And he changes my life doing a couple different things. One, he takes time to really connect with me and communicate with me and get to know me and start telling his story. And he wasn't afraid to go there. He wasn't afraid to be vulnerable. He wasn't afraid to give me the real stuff. And, for years, no one would give me the real stuff. But Tom gave me the real stuff. And I just never forget that, because that night my life would be changed forever because of your wisdom, because of, you helping me and not wanting anything in return, not wanting one thing in return, just saying, you know what? Wow, this kid, kind of like him. I'm going to help him, and I'm going to give him a path that he can run on so that he can, 1, save his own life, 2, save his marriage, 3, save his business. And that's what you did, Tom.
And you kept me sober that night too. And that's what's so beautiful about that whole deal. And all you guys, I'm just telling you, you just can't believe how great it is to be causing somebody to be partially at cause. Obviously, it was God. I didn't have anything to do with that. I'm not taking credit for it. To be in the right place at the right time to tell him a story that he could hear. But that's the same thing in your business. And if you'll just open your ears and your heart and fire your brain and your agenda, you're going to get there from here. Every one of you. And you're doing unbelievably important work. Look what this has turned into. And what Tony doesn't either remember or even know about is the sidebar conversation that was a lot tougher than my conversation with you, with Sarah, when you said, Tom, this has got to happen. And it was really, really beautiful listening to Sarah and her love and her concern and her powerlessness. But I want you to think about everybody out there. They're just as scared. And you've got great responsibility to tell them the story of what life could be like powerfully, because you've all got that power. And so Tony and Sarah, I love you guys. I mean, you guys are like my kids because of that night 12 years ago. And I will never forget it. And thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tom, and I think too, Tom, what's important to remember as well is that, all of our lives are so busy, and we're all, most of us have blinders on. But the reality is all day long in our life. And now I think it's changing as, more and more of us are out and about and all that stuff. Right. I think now more than ever, there's people that come across our path every day, but we have to be aware of it. You know what I mean? We have to take a moment to to see who are the people that are on our path to say hello to, or, because the reality is like this whole situation with Tony, like you were on alert, you know what I mean? You were aware of your surroundings. Your motive was clean. Your motive was like, man, like I need to bless somebody's life today. Whose life am I going to enrich, or whose life is going to enrich mine, right? That's how I live my life every day. And so I think when you live like that and you are aware and you aren't self-absorbed into your life and what you want and what's happening, like there's so many great people that come flooding into your life. And I just think now more than ever, like people are so craving that. And I just want to encourage people, like, but look up, you know what I mean? Look up and be aware of the people that come across your path every day that you can give an encouraging word to, or a compliment, or a help, or even just a hello. Like, I mean, that stuff goes so far right now.
That's so true. And, even we talk about big things like somebody getting sober and them changing their whole life, but those same principles really apply. I mean, that's one of the things that makes network marketing such a remarkable profession, is that really you have the opportunity all the time to see people where they are in maybe more mundane challenges in their life's journey, whether that be their weight, whether that be their health or their energy, or, their finances, in even just, like, it's not that it's dire straits. It's just that there's not enough, and that there's stress that people are experiencing all the time. And everybody else is so busy going about their life that they're not paying any attention. And if you can start to be that person that really stops and sees people and actually wants to pay attention to them, that's a huge blessing to others in and of itself. And then it becomes an opportunity for you to actually build your business and to pour into the lives of others, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, the three things I try to do every day when I'm in conversation with people is I ask a lot of questions, but I always try to leave them with a good story that will help them, give them good advice, or I connect them to somebody, something to read, watch, listen to that will help them, that will give them value, that will give them a solution to maybe some of the stuff that's going on in their life. And, that has served me very, very well. And I think you do this better than anybody. It's just like you ask the right questions, you listen, and you're always giving the best advice, or you're telling a story, or you're pointing them somewhere to, get more value.
And my mantra is that, and what you just said is what my mantra is. My job on this planet is to have no agenda except making my agenda their agenda, and leave every human being that I meet, no matter where they are, no matter what station of life they're at, feeling better about their life than when they got there. And that's what you just said you do. And it is such a great mantra to have, because left to my own intention, I'm this egomaniac trying to act like Joe Cool instead of really being empathetic and trying to put myself in the shoes of others. And what makes this business great is the attitude that you just talked about, that Sarah lives every day. And people see in you as a couple building powerfully with incredible children growing up with you. Every day is take your children to work day. You kids are doing it. And that's what's so beautiful about it. I'll never forget his sister. I had this great Jeep Wagoneer, and I walked through the living room, and all of a sudden my daughter goes, "Daddy, what's wrong with the car?" I go, "Well, nothing." "Why?" She goes, "Well, it's on a truck." I go, "Oh, I hated that car. It was being repossessed." So they were just hauling it out of there. So I had to lie to poor Courtney. She was like 5, and, go the whole route of telling her some tall tale about what happened to the car. But that's what they go through. But you get better from it. You get stronger from it. And they see that life isn't leaving in the morning and coming back with a wheelbarrow full of money. There is work done in between. And I think that's really defines your life well.
Yeah, no, it absolutely has. And it took being able to see what, how the sausage gets made, how like the highs and the lows, and the number of phone calls and all the things that had to happen in order to make that dream a reality. And it, as it's been in your life, right? It is not a straight shot to the moon, right? It is like this way and that way. And it's all the twists and turns that have people go, oh, you're an overnight success. No, I'm not, right? I'm a 20-year overnight success, or whatever it is, right? Like that's the reality of the situation. And so I think that you guys do that really well. And, one of the things that you guys also do super well is the way that I think you show up online. And so I'd love for you just to talk about, how you guys have learned to sort of show your life online in a way that isn't just like, look how great we are, but is authentic, and that, shares the fun and shares the hardship and shares all of it. How have you guys learned to do that so effectively?
So I'll give a great tip right now. So one of the things that I have people do is I have them get out a piece of paper, and on the very top of the paper, I have them write, what do you want to be known for or known as, and what do you aspire to be? And literally do a brain dump, right? And all of those things that are important to you, or people already see you as, that's how every post that I do, every live that I do, every story that I do, every reshare that I do, we are very intentional with everything we do on social media. And if any of those things are not congruent with that list, we don't post it. So that's why when people meet us, they're like, man, you guys are exactly how you are in your lives. You're exactly the way you are with your posts. And to us, that's the greatest compliment ever, because it just shows us that we are fully aligned with who we are. What you see is what you get. There's no persona or what have you. And I think that builds a lot of trust and a lot of credibility. And I do try to do kind of like a 1/3 rule, where I'll try to do like a third of my posts are like family, right? Just all fun, personal, that type of stuff. I do like a third, like kind of indirect with business, right? Maybe inspirational quote, a business tip, maybe something I read out of excerpt of a book that I was inspired by. And then the fourth one is a lot of times tied in with like lifestyle and a little bit more in regards to our business, right? So we try to do that healthy kind of like posting every single day, all over social media.
Yeah, and I think the best thing, if you're listening, you can do online is what Sarah just talked about, but also be vulnerable and be real and talk about maybe what you're going through, like Tom talked about. When I talk about my sobriety and I talk about some of the things that I had to learn and what I overcame to get to where I am today, that those posts and that engagement and those reach outs are some of the most powerful,
10 times anything that you do. All right, let's take one last break and get the heck out of here. This is the Legacy Leadership Show, no radio, with Adrian, no Tom, Chenault, and we'll be back right after this. Thank you, Genesis Communication Network.
Yeah.
What's that?
I have one other thing I want to piggyback on being vulnerable with posting. If you guys don't mind, we could bring it back just super quick on that topic.
Yeah,
and then
perfect.
we can switch. Okay.
And I want to share. I want to share what you guys created for folks to grab hold of. So let's.
Yeah,
do that.
it's really cool. They'll love it. Yeah, they'll love it.
How about Jordan Adler going to Hawaii with us? Jordan Adler's going to Hawaii for Denise's birthday to visit Richard Brooke.
No way! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
That is awesome.
He's on a diet trying to have a body like mine. So he's like not eating any carbs or anything. So he's really working on it. So that's good.
Oh my gosh.
Let's come back here. We'll wait 30 more seconds and we'll come back at the top of the minute.
Okay.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, we love him. Jordan's become like our brother, man.
He is just a good man. I've seen you guys doing some stuff with him. That's really
We do
cool.
a lot of stuff with him whenever we see each other, at least probably 3 times a year.
Yeah,
Good man.
He won't even talk to us anymore because he hooked up with you and Michelle and Margie and everybody. We just got cleaned out.
All right. We're coming back. Hold on one second.
Okay.
And we're back. It's Tom Chenault, Adrian Chenault, and it is the Legacy Leadership Show. And what a day it is, man.
Absolutely.
Sarah's got a point she wants to make. Would you let her make it? All right, Sarah.
Well, I just like what Tony shared about, stuff on social media with being vulnerable. I think it's so good. I do, one of the things that we make a point to do with the times that you are, just being willing to just kind of show up as yourself, whether it be on a live or a reel or whatever it is, right, on social media. I think it's important to talk about how you came out on the other side of it. right? So one of the greatest tips that I ever heard on social media is they said, make sure that you share scars, not wounds. Oh, that was so powerful, because I think a lot of times, what do we see on social media? People just like regurgitate whatever and they just air their dirty laundry. And I'm like, all right, so I know you went through that crap, but like, give me some goodness on the other side of it, right? So for Tony, when he shared, I love that he shares his sobriety, but he also says, hey guys, like I was on the bottom, this is where I was at, but this is what I did to pull through, right? And so I make sure too, with the thing that I am sharing, I do take a pause and I stop and I go, Sarah, is this a wound right now, or is this a scar, right? And then that's how I post. I think that is really important, because unfortunately, I see a lot of people do the opposite, and like people just don't want to follow that. You know, they want to see the light on the other side of it as well.
I have never heard that before, and that's profound, and I'm going to steal it. It's really, really cool.
Just give me credit once.
Yeah. So you guys need to go to this deal called workwithsarahandtony.com/50. Because in about 20 years, they're going to be 50 years old. Maybe that's their combined age at the back of that or something. I have no idea. Workwithsarahandtony.com/50.
What that is a template of 50 incredible social media posts and prompts that you can use to be able to talk about your own life on social media.
Isn't that cool? I got to get that.
I know. You need
I do not talk enough about myself.
Move beyond the bathtub is one of the tips on there.
Okay, good. That is exciting. And next week, I'm leaving Friday for Dubai to do a big event with Rob Sperry and Fraser Brooks and all those guys. So next Tuesday, we have no idea what time we're going to do it. Maybe 4 a.m. over there. We are going to do the Legacy Leadership Show live from Dubai. And that's going to be kind of cool. Isn't that neat?
Wow.
So that's going to be a blast. So I might have to spend the night at Fraser's house.
Oh my God. That's gonna be one for the record books.
That'll be one for the record books.
Poor Svetlana better just head for the hills.
We'll let her stay in my hotel room. It'll be awesome. All right. So
oh my goodness.
What do you think the future is, man? You guys are rocking. You're having record month after record month. There is no let up in your business, because you've got systems, you've got a culture, you've got community, and you're rocking it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, things are good. I just think that, now more than ever, people want to do something online. They just don't know what, right? Yeah. And I think that, people are looking, they really are. I think that people have really come to the conclusion that they're like, I have to create my own economy. Like they're finally there, where it's like the government's not going to do it. Like I have to do something. The days of people going, oh, I don't know if I want to do network marketing. They see it really as an incredible, viable option for them that is sustainable, but I also think doable for people's lifestyle, right? Because so many of, the companies that are out there, they are online now. A lot of these, people that are parents or grandparents that are juggling careers and kids, jobs and all the above, they're inspired that they can actually build something part-time in the nooks and crannies of their life because it is online, right? So I feel like they feel like, hey, this is actually something that is realistic that I could actually build, which is really cool. And so people are coming on board now more than ever because of that.
That's huge. And you're so right. It's such the last 2 years have taken care of anybody's resistance to the idea of figuring out how to do something online, because we've all had this crash course, and now it's really being in a position of being able to show people a way to take control of their own destinies, isn't it?
Yeah.
Adrian Chenault even has 90,000 TikTok views. He's so excited he can't even see straight.
Wow, I didn't know that. I gotta go follow you.
Amazing video. It's so weird, man. Who knows how the TikTok gods work.
TikTok superstar right here. I love it.
Right here, man. I'm telling you what, I've never gotten close to that. So now I got to chase that down. I'm competing with Denise. I'm competing with him. No wonder I have no self-esteem. It's unbelievable. One hit wonder. Yeah. Well, we love you guys. And it's been an honor having you on. The future is bright for you. The future is bright for the profession. Anything you want to say to these people that might not believe that this could possibly be true, making a tremendous amount of money, working with your kids every day and living life large. Isn't that just a dream come true for you?
It is. I think that, I believe in possibility. I believe in, I guess I believe in the American dream, but I also think too, guys, I mean, the reality is that you make your own luck. You know what I mean? Like for us, we just decided to like put our head down and work. And, we just said, hey, like, we're going to work this until it happens. We weren't people that were willing to throw the towel in. And, we just said, hey, let's just keep going. And I think that's a thing for us. We just said through thick and thin, let's do this. And I think really that's one of the reasons that we are here is because we decided to become resilient,
Yeah. And I'll just say this, you can have it all. Tom, you can have it all. And I'll tell you, all of the listeners out there, stop listening to people that are telling you can't, because you can have it all.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going home. Don't hang up. We're going to stick around for a minute on Facebook. This was the Legacy Leadership Show. Adrian, Tom, see you all later. We did it.
We did it.
All
That was
right,
awesome.
you maniacs. You were beautiful.
Thank
So
you.
what-
Thank you for having us. What an honor.
I know. No. We it was our honor, and I'm going to come back in. I've already set my thing to make sure that I'm on with you and Eric next week on that accelerator thing, because you guys are rock stars. I mean, and what we need are more young people going through the ranks. I just decided to go back on the board of the ANMP. I quit. I quit all the time because I get pissed off about stuff. So I quit for like 2 years. So I just called Garrett and I said, okay, now I'm mad at all these people making income claims and health claims. I'm coming back on. And he goes, oh,
Yeah.
God, I got it.
Yeah.
So
that's a huge thing. And I'm really glad that you're doing that because, I think that's one of the hardest things that we see. I mean, we are very vigilant about that. I mean, one thing that we don't do, and our team doesn't do it either. Like, we don't talk about the sales of our business online. We don't talk about income. We don't talk about, we don't even talk if there was ever a car program. Like, we just don't go there. And, for us, we're like, guys, the truth is good enough, and, well, we still see it though, as you see it. I mean, I still see some of this stuff and I just cringe and I'm like, oh my gosh, like we cannot be doing
Well, Tom,
that.
what did Kevin Thompson say? Because they sent all the letters to everybody, they blanketed everybody with letters. Anybody that says anything that they can just go through those doors, he's like, they can do it. You already got the letter.
Yeah, and God bless your company, though, because they've really, from the very top, they have gone through the ranks of your leaders and your big earners saying, don't say anything stupid. I mean, at least you've got that buy-in from the very top. I saw that they just sent cease and desist orders to 3 companies here in the last week. I saw it, and I'm not going to bring it up because I don't want to throw any shade on what those companies were.
Yeah.
But one of them was talking about the president of that company being the one saying the dumb stuff. And it immediately had me think about your company owners and a couple other company owners that say, we are not doing that on our watch. It's hard enough to watch all the distributors that could say something egregious. We can't be saying it from the top. And what I love about your company is that you do have this culture where you guys aren't as a complete tribe saying something dumb. And I think that's going to keep you in business, and it's smart.
Well, and that's the thing is they just teach the leaders that they're like, hey guys, like if we protect the golden goose, like we have a ride here for a very, 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 very long time, and it's helping them be, keep the long-term vision, right? Versus a short-term. So, but again, like you said, that's a culture thing, right? Yep.
And starting over, I mean, you've had to do it before. I've had to do it before, Denise and I. It's hard. And
oh my God, I know. Ugh.
You say you never want to do it, and it would take to move somebody out of a giant check takes a real serious. In fact, I was going to talk about that because I got a call earlier today about somebody called me and said, can I get a master? Do you know somebody that would want to be a master distributor? And I said, what's the story? Oh, we'll pay them all this money to bring a team. I said, there isn't a master distributor on the planet that can bring a team. So you're an idiot. A master distributor is going to build a team. They aren't going to bring it. Because if you've done your job at the old company and they're making all this money, they're going to look at you like you're crazy if you're trying to get them to leave there and come here. So don't get a master distributor that's going to bring. Get a master distributor that's going to build, and don't pay him any money. It's there. You know, that's what I said, and I'm sure I'm going to go to hell for it, but I meant it. All right, you guys, we got to go. We love you.
All right, guys, thank you for having us again. We appreciate
Tony,
you.
a lot of guts.
See you, brother. Love you, man.
Love you.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
All right, bye, you guys.
Bye-bye.